There's several hillsides around here that are just wind-blown, deadfall. I don't want to be in that. And what I started noticing is those animals don't necessarily want to be in that. They might go in 20, 30 yards and bed down because they're super protected. They can hear and see everything that comes in. But like, we walked through the heart of one of them, at one of those hillsides. There wasn't an ounce of sign. You know, and it's like, okay, we're not really that different because I don't want to walk through that crap. Neither do they. I want to be on those sunny hillsides when it's cold in the morning, getting some of that sun and warming up, you know, and that's what they're doing. When it's warmer out, yeah, I like being in the shade, taking a nap. You know, we're not that different. That's kind of why I like coming back to these places is, you know, the stories that are told. These animals are virtually untouched. Not many people see them, and they don't see many people. It just takes you back, and I'm glad we still have places like this that we can relive those stories and tell our own.
We've been hiking all morning. It's just now shooting light. We've got about 50 more feet to climb up. We're gonna put our layers on. I'm gonna get my gun out and we're gonna be in habitat just right up here. So it's gonna be go time here in just a moment. So we crested the hill, and we saw elk on the opposite side of this valley. 9 cows so far, but there's more coming out. They're actually coming out right now. Take a look. Just cows so far. There's about a dozen of them. Gotta be a boy. They're about 800 yards away at the moment.
You hear about people going, how do I kill big bucks or big bulls? It's like, well, what do you do during the day when it's hot? Shade up. You know, what do you do when it's cold out? Get in that sun, you know, and somewhere in between you find water and grab a snack.
Well, the cold weather seems to be moving the animals a little bit longer. They seem to be a little bit more willing to move through open sage than they have in the last few days, but it also means it's cold for us. And that wind was just cuts to the bone when you sit there for a little bit. But man, fire's clutch. It does wonders for morale too.
How many times were we sitting on a ridge and we were just watching these animals be who they are, you know? I mean, they're just milling around, doing their thing. If you go to a pressured area, as soon as if they see you, boy, they book it, you know? And a lot of these animals that just kind of like wondering what the heck they're looking at, you know, which is kind of cool.
Well, after we saw those elk this morning, just all cows, we ended up heading to higher ground and glassed a few different basins, and we didn't see any more elk for the rest of the day. We saw a few does and fawns, but nothing. So we're headed back down to camp now. To finish out the day, we're just gonna hunt down the ridge back to camp, and we've got about a mile left. So we know that there was from last night, there was a bull that was bumped up somewhere around here, and there was a smaller buck from a few days ago. But you know, we're in their habitat, we're in the zone, so if we be quiet enough, we might be able to sneak up on one. Oh, maybe one more. Sweet. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Ooh. Oh. Bring it back. There we go. Ooh, tiles. This guy right here.
Don't look at it first. Looks awesome. Mm-hmm. I love heart, man. All right. Well, I think it's like, this is our third to last day to hunt. So we're gonna try to make today count and tomorrow count. The game plan really hasn't changed much. We still have high wind, and it makes for like crazy stock options. But we'll see if we can make today's a little different and kind of stick with the same plan, huh?
Yeah, going up to where we were yesterday, we saw a lot of cows there. We know there's bulls around, but they seem to be, maybe it's the pressure, but they're not really hanging out with the cows. But maybe that herd we saw yesterday scooped one up, and
well, and weather's starting to change too, so I feel like we're starting to see more animals filtering through and moving around.
This wind is crazy. It hasn't stopped for 6 days. All the elk and deer are way down low. Hopefully we can find some. That first thing I saw, I think, was a bull, because he's real blonde compared to those cows. So let's go get our puffy. Found this herd of elk, and it looked like a bull through the trees, and he hasn't come out. So because the wind is what it is, we're gonna creep up here and see if we can get a different angle. If we can't see him, we're gonna back out to where we originally glassed him from and just wait, because they've been using this hillside. It's still real early, so they might just, be cruising. We'll see. So we were gonna go up and have a peek, but I'm like, certain I saw a bull in there, but he never followed cows out. So they might be feeding across the top, so we decided to back out because we have a good vantage and we won't be like surprised, you know. No chance of jumping them either. Back where we saw those cows in the morning. We think there was a bull with them. There's a bunch of little knobs up high that we think they're just weaving in and out of all day because we found them in the exact same spot all morning, but in the evening we haven't been able to see them, so we're going to make a new play. We're going to go over those knobs, kind of get in where we think they are. We haven't done that yet, so might yield results. And there's some clearings in there. There'll be some timber, but it's open. I think they're feeding through those before they get to where we've been seeing them in the morning. So, I don't know, something different. We'll try it. Yeah. Find a big giant bull.
We're watching does and fawns cruise through, and yeah, I filled my deer tag, so there's no reason for us to really be paying too much of attention to deer. And we just sat there, and I remember thinking, God, they're just watching them go about their daily life is pretty interesting, and how they react to ravens calling or an eagle came through actually, and all these deer like look up, and there was pretty much eye level, and they're all watching this thing, you know, and just watching how observant they really are. They're survivors too. I mean, there's other critters out here aside from us looking for them. And so it's pretty fun to watch them just do their thing and use water holes that you don't think they'd really necessarily use when you're walking past them. Shade up when it's sunny out and things like that.
As cold as it's getting, you gotta think they gotta be moving a little soon. Yeah.
Last morning.
Last full day, and we're gonna go back up to where we saw those elk last night, and we've seen the last previous days, but we're gonna be a little bit more aggressive in our pursuit.
Yeah, we have to be. We have to sprint to the finish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a bull sneaking around in there. We've seen the cows, maybe not all of them, and we think the ones that have kind of eluded us, we've seen some clues left behind, big tracks, and we think that he's just really elusive.
Yeah, he's in there. And it's
a lot colder. It
Yeah.
snowed last night. Not a whole lot, but it is a significant drop in temperature.
Yeah, hopefully that keeps them out a little longer in the morning. Yesterday they were out as soon as it got light, and then timbered up, and then the wind's all messy, so can't really chase them. Just can't count on the wind.
Mm-hmm. The wind isn't as strong this morning, so probably want to make extra sure that we're quieter. Don't have that cover-up noise.
They've adapted to use the country. They have to. This is where they reside, right? And as you're hunting back here, you kind of adapt to the country as well. Like, we know these routes to get quickly and efficiently up to where we want to glass from and attempt a stock. They know how to move through, just, you know, better than we do always, but But it's interesting how they've adapted to this country. We've adapted after being in here for, what, this is 8th, 7th day? You know, you learn pretty quick how to slide through it just like they are. And I can't tell you how many times we're moving across. It's like, this makes sense. So this trail's so beat up with, you know, elk and deer traffic. You can slide through this real easy. But yeah, I love it.
Where'd he go? We're down, I think. It sounded like a good hit, I think. Which one were you aiming at, Brian?
Back one.
The back one?
Yeah. He was.
Hold on.
He was faced right at me, so I just had a clear target right down his
I
sternum.
thought I heard a flop. Alright. What just happened, Brian?
We're sitting here, it was chilly, and all of a sudden, 2 elk run from over the saddle. Something bumped them far away. They came over the folds, and they went into the trees, and we weren't sure exactly where they were going to pop out, but they finally kind of moseyed out real quietly, about 300 yards. And we had already had enough time to get prone and lay up on a backpack and get a really nice solid shot.
Yeah, they came out in a nice, like a small little opening. I kept hoping they would pop out, and all of a sudden they're there.
And I was
awesome.
aiming at the first one, but he started quartering toward me, kind of to the left, and I didn't want to blow through a shoulder to hit the vitals, and the second one was faced right at me, so I just put it right to the side of his sternum. But
All right, well, there's 2 spikes. Both of them started going downhill.
yeah,
We haven't seen either one of them run down unless they're on our hillside, but just keep an eye out here. I'll go grab my backpack, and then we'll go start where you shot from, see what we can find for blood.
it is really cold out too.
Lots of blood here in the grass. Lots more blood.
I don't see blood here. So I don't know if this is the other guy. There's another track. Oh, here's blood right here. It's like running down his leg. But before you get too far ahead, make sure you know where the next track is.
Yeah, so
Down after this.
that's what I'm thinking. So
Thinking
look,
he dropped straight down. Yeah.
This elk's losing altitude and side hilling, so I think he's hit pretty good.
We've been tracking that spike for a while. He's bleeding pretty consistently. You can see where he stops walking, and there's lots of blood pooling up, but they're really tough animals. He's going through this deadfall. Can't be easy for him, so at some point he's going to get up there and he's just going to lay down if we are persistent. Thank God there's snow on the ground. You can really track him easy. If we're persistent, we might be able to see him through the trees and finish him off, hopefully. We're still on that Spike's blood trail, but we found where he laid down. He was bleeding from his nose. He's laying down again, which means he's having a real hard time. We're really close to him.
We tracked this
blood trail for that spike for a very long time. And I mean, when he went into deadfall, we thought he was not going to make it out of there, but he's still able to hoof it. You can tell he was shot in at least one lung. When he stops, there's a blood trickle next to his hoof. It's very small, and then there's like mist, like you can tell it's coming out of his mouth or his nose, and when he breathes out, there's kind of a spray. We followed him for a really long time, and then we got onto this south-facing hillside, and there's not a lot of snow, and I can't believe we tracked him as far as we did with no snow, but we got lucky and found the blood trail, and we kept following it, and now we've lost it. We've been tracking him for over 4 hours now. We put the time in to follow him. We had the shot set up right. I shot him right straight in the sternum, and didn't jump, no jitters or anything like that. It was a really solid shot. Clearly hit in the lung. They're just tough animals. And it does not feel good. I don't really know what the feeling is. It's just like just lost the big game or something.
And it might be easy too if you throw them up in a tight cleat.
Hey everybody, thanks for following along on the hunt this year. Yeah, we had a great time in the backcountry, and if you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button and be sure to follow along on our next adventure.